Yes,
Yes,
there he is.
brother.
Yes, geezer. What are you saying, man?
How you doing, man? You
Yeah,
alright?
man, I'm all good. I'm all good.
You're
Live my
looking a little
best life.
different, Sope.
What? Because I put on a different top.
You're looking at, yeah, you got a different top. You've grown your beard. You've grown your hair.
Oh yeah, man. It's that no trim challenge of quarantine. Get me.
Dude, how long are you gonna grow it for?
Well, I'm gonna grow. I'm not touching it. I'm not gonna cut any of my hair until quarantine's all done, and then we'll see how long it is after that. And maybe I'll just like shape it and keep it like that. You know,
I
go
love
for the
that,
whole
man.
Jason Momoa look, braid my hair and
Yes,
everything.
bro. Yes, bro.
How you
Yes,
doing,
bro.
man? How you
The
keeping? You
dreads.
happy? You healthy?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I just went for a little cycle ride
Oh,
around
nice, man.
London.
Thank you.
Um, it's a nice time to do it, man. It's like it's the only time I think we'll get where there's no cars on the road. So I'm
Yeah,
taking full
absolutely.
advantage of that, man.
And it's so beautiful as well. Like it feels like we're being rewarded for being disciplined and staying indoors, and the earth is just saying thank you with all the sunshine and clear skies. You
Yeah,
know?
man. Yeah, at least the weather's good, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, we've got a couple of questions straight away.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
let's go with an easy one to start. What was the best part of filming for you from Courtney Smith? Thank you for sending your question in.
Wow. That's a hard one, man. I
Yeah,
think
man.
for me, there was a couple of action pieces
Hmm.
at the end of episode 2 and the end of episode 4 that were just wild. You were a
Yeah.
part of one of them, Chope, and and there was another crazy one as well. And they kind of made me sort of feel like, this was the reason I wanted to be an actor in a weird sort of way. It felt
Hmm.
like kids in a playground. Um, so yeah, so for me, I don't want to give too much away because a lot of people
Yeah.
won't have seen those episodes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it gets crazy, man. If you thought
Hmm.
episode 1 was crazy, there's a whole lot more to
Yeah,
come.
it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Yeah, that sequence at the end of episode 4. I remember it took us a couple of days to shoot, but also like I was so proud of it whilst we were doing it because yeah, no spoilers, but there is just this set piece that is so fluid and like totally unbroken the whole way through, and it tells so much story in just this like this one dramatic beat. So that was super impressive and
Yeah.
really great to be a part of. Um,
You must have a few though, huh?
yeah, I mean,
You got a
like
few. You have a few wild moments in this show.
it's easy to say that the fight scenes were like fun to do, and they were absolute dream. And like shout out to all of the fight coordinator Jude Poyer and his team, including like Chris Webb and all of the stunties that worked on it. For those of you that have seen episode 1, you'll know Lee, known as the Machete Man. Someone told me today that the big man with a machete covered in blood wearing a nappy is a thing of nightmares, and that really made me laugh. But I think for me the best parts of filming were the scenes where we were all together, like that, like the big set piece at the end of 4, because the community on set was dope. You know, like all of the actors, I've got so much respect for them, so much love for them as well, and it's been really great to meet new people and make new friends. And I feel like we are really good friends after it all. So that's been really fun.
Yeah,
That's been
man.
really fun for sure.
Why is this question in front of my face, Keith? No one can see me. Stick it
I'll
in
see if I
front of
can
your
move it on the
face.
next one. Let's see if I can move it.
I just saw that comment.
Um,
No, I'm only
let's
joking.
keep these gangs related. Right. Okay. Cool. What made you want to be in Gangs of London? Oi, what's going on here?
Oh, nice. You are in a forest.
Just stirring off the fauna. Yeah. What made you want to be in Gangs?
For me, it was the scripts, man. The story is just wild. And I read the first couple of episodes, and I just thought it was something so new and so fresh. And I was very, I, I didn't really realize how they were going to do it. I was just thought it was so complicated. I was like, how are you going to do this?
Mm,
How are you going to bring this to life? How are we going to bring this to life? And it was for that reason. It just felt very exciting. And the character Sean just felt like new territory for me. Obviously, I've done a gangster show before
mm-hmm.
and had an amazing time and worked with some great people. and I was kind of reluctant to do another one
Yeah.
because Peaky was so good and so popular.
Yeah, man.
But this just felt like the right one, man. It feels very different. It feels like it's in a different world. You know, there's a lot of Asian cinema influences on this one,
Sure.
and it's just new and moves the conversation in a different direction. And yeah, so for that reason, that's why I wanted to do it. How about yourself?
Definitely. Like, I'm sat watching it now, and I've got to episode 5. Still got 4 left, and I'm just like, I'm so proud of it because it's not anything like we've seen coming out of England anyway. Like, it's so slick, it's so cinematic. I remember when we saw the teaser that was put together for the rap party, and it was really astounding to sit back and be like, yo, actually, because when you're doing camera work, when you're doing TV, when you're doing film, you have no idea what the finished product's going to be, because you don't always get to see like the rushes. You don't always, like, I'm not one that really likes to look at what we've just shot, because I think sometimes, just to avoid the vanity of acting, I just want to like focus on how it feels. So you have no idea how it's going to turn out. You don't know what they're going to do with the edit and the grading, when they change the colors and when they put the music on it at the end. But just to like look at it and be like, yo, this is good. I had an inkling of that feeling when we were reading the scripts at the beginning. You know, like you were saying, like the size of it and how are you going to achieve this? Like, I'm here for you. I'm here to do it with you. But how are you going to achieve this like massive set piece? And to see it all be pulled off, like that little inkling of a feeling that I had at the beginning is what made me want to be a part of it. And I'm really proud and glad that I was able to be on that journey. Let's get another question in. Loads of these questions are just telling us how much they love you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, I love you, Joe. I love you. You're
sweet.
my favorite actor.
Good. I'm glad someone likes me. Joe, marry me.
You seen that on the comments, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments now.
Okay, here's
There's a lot of Spanish. I'm learning Spanish at the moment, guys.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully, I'll be able to communicate with you soon.
Oh man, you're gonna do like a TV series in Spanish? Gonna be in the next series?
Yeah, one day, man. That'd be good, man. Yeah.
Okay, this question from Benjamin is, which actor or actress do you admire and why? And to keep this more like gangs related, I'm gonna reduce your options to the people in the cast. I'm not asking you who your favorite is necessarily, but just like pick one person from the cast and tell me what you feel about him.
Oh man, that's hard. There's so many of them. I'm gonna say, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not gonna say you this time. I am gonna say one of my faves. You know who I'm gonna say. I know you know who I'm gonna say. Lucien M. Samati.
Has to be.
He plays Ed. You know, they're all amazing. You know, all the young cats who are playing. You know, Papa Sawedu plays my right-hand man, and Brian Vanel plays my brother. Valine Kane plays my sister. Pippa Bennett Warner plays Papa's brother and kind of almost like a sister to me. And Michelle Fairley plays my mum, and the list goes on. Narges Rashidi. I'm going to say Lucien just because he's a badass, man. He's just the real deal, and I felt he brought something to Ed, which was so unique. I think his delivery. You know, like like I've not seen an actor kind of do it the way he does it.
It's true.
And it, you know, he's so different off camera. He's so affable and so just constantly corpsing and he's completely different to this character. But he just you believe him, and I certainly believed him as this kind of. This real kind of mob boss, this real tough guy who's been through the mill and been through it all. And you know, I know he comes from theatre and originally, and he's a pro, and he's also just a lovely bloke. So so I'd say Lucien. So you can't say Lucien.
I can't say Lucien, but I want to pay him some props real quick as well, because like I know exactly why you chose him. I just felt like Lucien's experienced, didn't it? Like, he's been doing this for a while. He was in Game of Thrones. He's done lots of different TV series. Like you said, he was in the theatre beforehand. He's even been the artistic director of Teatro Fihutse. And I was just like, this guy just knows what's going on and still maintains that affability, like you said, the ability to like be a father figure to everybody on set and just have a good time, you know, and never lord his experience over us, and using his experience to like lift the show by lifting all of us individually. Like I love Uncle Lucien for sure. And then
have you worked with him before? Have you worked with him
No,
before?
I haven't.
You knew
I've
him
seen
though,
him in
right?
lots
Did you
of
know
bits and
him?
pieces. I knew him from before. Yeah, I knew him from before.
Because I know Papa worked with him before, and Pippa, right?
Yeah, I think this is like the second or third time Papa's played his son.
That's mad.
Just
man.
like, hey, when it works, it
They
works.
do. They do it well. They do it well.
For sure, for sure. I'm gonna pick. It's hard. I've got a toss up between Pippa Bennett Warner, who plays Shannon Dumani, and Narges, who plays Lale. And the opening of episode 3, which just belongs. This is a little introduction into Lale. Auntie was calling me. I don't know what she was thinking about. But it's just wild. And I just love that she is like this woman operating in what could be thought of as a man's world, but she doesn't let up. Like she's not, what do you call it? She holds her own differently, even more so than many of the other men in the series. And like this whole conception that it is a man's world, she flips it on its head. And I love what she does with the character. With Pippa, I know I'm cheating by picking 2, but with Pippa, she's one of my favorites because she was just so easy to work with. I'm sure without any spoilers, there's a little seed planted in episode 1 about Elliot and Shannon, and maybe they'll go on to have like a understanding of one another. And I think just working with her was really easy because she's so talented. She's so good at her job that there was no real acting required. And that was a real blessing for me, you know. It meant I didn't have to be nervous or anything because I knew I was working with an excellent scene partner. Let's see.
Good choices.
Okay, cool. Someone wants to know, this is Miss Chill. She wants to know a funny blooper or thing that happened in Gangs of London. I'm going to have to rack my brains for this because I can't think of that off the top of my head.
I mean, Lucy and M. Matty was he just used to corpse, dude. Like, you know, in big serious scenes. I think there was one where Michelle Fairley pronounced the character's called Jivan, and she pronounced it wrong, pronounced it Jevon. And it was just this big moment. It's very, very tense. There's loads of people around the table. And then she says, you know, what are you going to do with Jevon? And it just got us, man. And you kind of had to be there. But it was just, those things would just set Lucien off. And obviously, because he's the older statesman, the guy we look up to, the professional, when he starts laughing in a scene, it's very hard for you to keep your cool. Yeah. Off the top of my head, that was one. I mean, there was a lot of pranks going on behind the scenes, as you well know. I think I pranked.
We'll save those for another time. Man.
Yeah, I think I pranked all 3 of the directors.
One of my favorite bloopers didn't actually happen on set. So as you know, I've got loads of big action fight scenes in the series, and I remember rehearsing for one of them, the cleaver fight with Lee Charles, who's playing Len, and we're in this like taekwondo dojo, like going through the moves of the scene, and there's this moment, you know, where he's just like had enough of the cleaver. He just picks man up and he's gonna dash him down onto this crate, and the crate smashes and he drags me down it. So we were just like practicing that bit in rehearsals, and he's got me up. This guy is so strong. He's been like a world kickboxing champion more than a few times, right? And he's put on like an extra stone's worth of weight just to play this character. Just cleans me. So I'm just up in the air, flying. And I'm not a light guy, man. I'm 6'1", 95 kilos at least. And he's just like cleans me. And then Jude and Chris, who were the stunt directors, are just like, stop. Okay, we're going to like go back. And he's just got me. And he's like, okay, cool. Lets me go. This guy's taller than me, so I'm falling at least like 7 foot out of the air, clean, just straight onto the mat. I'm just like, what, bro? You can't. We're not doing it for real. Just trying to snap my back in rehearsals. But did you get any mad injuries or anything? Because you do some crazy stuff, man. Yeah. You know what? I think it's testament to all of the stunt people that worked in it that I didn't get hurt. And that's because like the fight choreography was so good. What Gareth does, and I think a lot of filmmakers will have to do now because he's like blazed that trail, is that they work with the stunties and the stunt choreographers to put together what they call a previs. And that's where they will map out and they will try lots of different things and they will map out what the fight scene is going to look like and they'll shoot it beforehand. So when it comes to me learning it, I've got this guide track basically. And the choreography is so good, so slick, and the camera work by Matt Flannery in particular is so excellent that it meant we could do it again and again and again and again. And it wasn't really about getting tired. Like we had the stamina to keep going, but there weren't any contact injuries or like no twisted ankles or anything like that. That meant that we had to stop. And I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. And your stunt man, I know you don't like talking about him, but you like, because you do a lot of your own stunts, but you also have a guy who does some of the even crazier stuff, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about
that. Men's Tamachloe, who's actually, this is the second time he's been my stunt double. He was my stunt double for the Huntsman's Winter War as well, which we did like 5 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that we had Men's putting his body on the line because there were some stunts that I wanted to do everything in it. I wanted to do everything so I could feel it. And that it's just easy to translate into how Elliot feels about being tossed across a room. But if I get tossed across a room and snap my spine, then we close production and then the whole thing's messed up. But that's the stunt in the whole series that I was like really calm not to do. In that Len fight where he like grabs Elliot's head and then whips him across the room, smashes his back on the corner of the wall. And I think Men's did that twice, mainly because it was like done so well the first few times. So they didn't need to do it again, but also like how many times are you gonna like snap your back again? Oh man, just thinking about it makes me like scream.
I watched that scene with my brother and my brother, one of my brothers, and he was like, that CGI is good actually. And I said, dude, that's not CGI. That's a guy doing that. Real. Man. Yeah, like crazy.
I think Mad Max, especially the Tom Hardy one and the original ones with Mel Gibson, like really set the bar for practical stunts. And obviously Gareth and Matt did the Raid and the Raid 2, and they're really influenced by, like you said earlier, Eastern cinema. And Jude Poyer, the fight choreographer, actually worked as a stuntman in Hong Kong for many years. So they're really about doing it, you know, just like Jackie Chan. And he's going to do those stunts. And if it hurts, it hurts. And then he's going to get back up and do it again, rather than like camera tricks or CGI. Yeah, people went through it, man. People went through it for sure. Right, let me see if I can find some more questions.
Mate, there's so many different countries, people from so many different countries.
I know, man. It's so mad.
Like, a lot of South Americans. Brazilian. Argentinian. That.
I don't know the answer to that question.
UK. You got one UK.
If you see any in the comments, bro, just shout them out. Let me know.
Yeah. I'm not seeing many questions right now.
Okie dokie. Just loads of flags, innit?
A lot of flags, yeah. Ukraine.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah, we got one from Papa Esawadu.
Oh, what's he saying?
Who's your favourite cast member? All right, get that written down, man. We're going to have to do that one after.
Here's a question from Evangeline Talalele. What do you do if you're feeling nervous before you film a scene? And obviously, I presume she's like a budding actress, so this is one of them passing the baton on. What do you reckon? Did you feel nervous going into many of the scenes for this, or?
I think for me, and this is like, you know, I've been doing it for a few years now, and it's like, the more you learn the lines and the more preparation you do before, the less nervous you're going to be. It's the same with auditions, man. I never do enough, but essentially, the more prep you do, the more comfortable you are with the scene and everything that's going on, the more you can, once you get there, you can just enjoy it. And that's important, and kind of forget the words and forget the script and just kind of just enjoy being in the moment and seeing what happens. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just preparation, man. Just make sure you're well versed on what's going on.
I totally agree with everything you said. I would also say that, like, on this especially, we were really lucky that we were blessed with such a phenomenal cast, in that everyone was so good, everyone was so on job, that you could really rely on each other to get you through some scenes. Like, there were some tricky scenes, some tricky bits of dialogue, but like, we were all going through it together, which helps, you know? It's a bit like this mad period that we're in at the moment. Like, it's not just us that are in isolation, it's the whole world. And there's a bit of comfort in that, knowing that everybody on that set is like, wants it to be as good as possible. And we're all going to try and be as patient with each other as possible. But also, I think in life, if you're a good person, you very rarely make it about yourself. I'm not thinking about, what are the words I'm going to say to Joe now? I'm just like, I'm talking to you. I'm making it about you. I'm trying to communicate with you. And so that alleviates a lot of the pressure on me, you know, because I'm just trying to communicate. And I think that it's the same with learning lines and stuff. Just checking for another question here. Hi from Georgia. Hello, Georgia. Thank you for tuning in. Guy from Ukraine. Someone loves your AirPods. So,
Thanks,
okay,
man.
here we go. You've been learning Spanish, so say
No,
something in
man.
Spanish, bro.
Don't make me do that, bro. Please. No España.
¿Cómo te llama, Joe?
No. I'm not doing it now, man. I'm not doing it now.
Fair enough, man.
It's too early. It's too early in the journey.
Lo siento, Jose.
Patatas bravas, por favor. There we go. That's what I used to say back in the day. That's all I could say.
Una botella de cerveza, por favor. That's all
Yes,
I know.
mate. You know.
Let's see. What other questions we got? Will we get a second series?
Oh. I mean, there's a lot to come. I think it depends on how people respond. If it's a positive, you know, if people like the show, then I think there's a lot of room. You probably know more than me.
Well, man, I don't know anything, bro. But I think, as you said, like, the more people that watch it, the more sort of like buzz there is about it, the more people enjoy it as well. You know, like, that's what we're doing it for. We want to tell the story. We want to entertain people, like, give them a reason to stay indoors during these Corona times. And the better reception that we get, the more likely there will be one. I think the writers have given us the opportunity to hopefully go on and do another one. But, I mean, it all depends on whether or not the audience like it. So far, the reviews have been really lovely. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in and watched even just one episode. I know so many people that have watched like 9.
Dude, I've seen that. A few people have watched 9. Like, that's crazy.
I know,
I
man.
think, like, I'd say my advice would be to kind of take your time a little bit, you know, like,
man.
watch one at a time if you can, or maximum 2 at a time, you know. I think you get more out of it, because it's like they're full on and you need a bit of time to decompress after you've seen them. Like, I think every episode is like a mini movie in itself, and it's true. And it's good to have a little breather.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, there's so much in it. And, like, you don't need to rush a good thing, hopefully. Take your time with it. I said yesterday, it's not a race. And although I suppose if you binge it all in one, then you can binge it again next month. As long as you're watching it, not too fast. Here's a question from Honey Hansen.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, what's your favorite ep of the 9?
It's a hard one, that. That's a very hard question. I've got a few, dudes. What's my favorite ep? You know what? Might be episode 2, you know. Okay. Might be episode 2. I had a lot of fun on that episode. So it might be that. I like 4. I like 4 as well.
Yes, I've just seen 4, and 4 is a good ep. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, there's so many. What do you think? I'll probably maybe say episode 2 if I had to pick, maybe.
Okay. It's a good question, man. You know, I watched 3 yesterday, and I think I really, really enjoyed it. I was able to sit back and be like, because sometimes you get a bit self-conscious about this work that you produced, over a year ago, you know?
Yeah.
no idea what it's going to look like. But I think 3 was the first time I was able to sit back and be like, just relax into it. Because I know that the show is good. I know it's in good hands. Everyone's done excellent work. And 3, I think there are lots of little twists and turns in the story that are excellent.
The end of 3 is mad, bro. I'm not saying anything, but
yes, it is.
Dude.
That sequence that we did in Wales was we shot some of it in London, some of it in Wales, some of it all over the country. But yeah, I'm super proud of it. Super proud of it for sure. Here's a question from Red and Wild, similar to a question we asked earlier about who we really respected in the show, which actors we did. But if you could play another character in the show, apart from yourself, who would it be?
It's got to be you, man. It's got to be you, isn't it?
I appreciate that, man.
I think. Yeah. I think you know, I wouldn't have done as good a job, but I think like that's the other role that yeah, man, that I'd have liked to play. How about yourself?
You know what? This is a hard question. I don't think I've got the gravitas to play Lucien, and we already bigged them up earlier. I just don't think I could smash your role like you do, man. I don't think I could do it, so I'm gonna stay away from that. You do it so cleanly, and I just love watching you on screen. You know who I really like? Leaf. And a lot of people who haven't seen Further Down won't know who he is yet. But there's a character in it called Leaf, who just does some heinous things, and he's got such an interesting sort of existence that he lives in. Like, he lives with his mom. It's got this mad basement. It's got eels in a tank. It's like, yeah, he's on job, and I really like what he's doing with his character. So,
talking about people that come in just for like smaller moments in the show. Yeah, I really liked Cole, man.
Yes.
Cole,
played by Gordon Alexander.
Yeah, Gordon Alexander killed that.
Yes, he did.
That's like, he says about 2 words, but you just know he's the most frightening person there is.
Just feel his presence throughout the whole
it's amazing.
episode.
Yeah.
That's
that
episode 3 for people who haven't seen it yet.
3, yeah.
So, yeah, Cole is dope. Okay, here's a question. What does your family think about Gangs of London? From Honey Hansen again.
Honey Hansen's got the questions, killing it. You go first, man.
Another reason I'm really, really proud of this is that, like, my dad loves film and TV, and that he's really into his Godfather and Sopranos and all those things, but he'll watch anything, really. And he's gripped, man. He's properly gripped. He snuck downstairs last night to watch an extra 2 episodes without the rest of the
Shut up. He did not.
Seriously.
That is a joke.
My dad is having that sort of reaction to the series. It's like, that makes me feel really proud. Like, you know, when you're young, you want to go to school and do well, and the teacher says a good thing to your parent, and that makes you feel good. This feels like the adult version of that. I've created a piece of work that my dad really, really likes, and that I'm really proud of. And so, yeah, that's his response to it.
That's hilarious, man.
My sister's coming out with bare dope one-liners, and I'm just glad that my family are enjoying my work properly. How about you, man?
Yeah, same, man. Like my dad's loving it as well. My dad and my uncle both watch sort of think half of it now, and yeah, they're like my biggest fans, man. Yeah, which is great, and it's like, my dad watches everything I'm in, so does my mum, and they're very supportive. But my dad was like, this, even if you weren't in it, I'd be binging it. You know, that's kind of what his reaction was. I think just across the board, it's his kind of show. You know, it's his kind of thing. It's got a bit of everything. It's got the action. It's got the storyline. It's got the characters. So, nice. Yeah, no, it's been really lovely, man, to share it with them. And my dad's kind of different. My dad's like, he'll watch 1, 2. He'll like watch 1 and 2, then go back and watch 1 again. Okay. And then 2 and 3, and then he'll go back and watch 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, he likes to like really like make sure he knows what's going on. You know. Okay. Cool. So yeah, it's good.
Cool. Here's a good question. For you, in the season, no spoilers, what was the most challenging thing to film?
I would say actually, thinking about it now, probably episode 6.
Okay.
Yeah, just generally. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a lot of like internal conflict, family drama, family dynamics. Um, there's a lot going on with trying not to do too much.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of that stuff was pretty intense for sure. How about you?
No spoilers again, but I think the final. Can you hear the kids in the background just yelling?
Dude, what is that? Is that your house? Or is that next door?
No, it's next door, man. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're like playing football or something. But for me, the sequence at the end of episode 9 was a lot. It was just a lot.
Hmm.
And I think similar to those practical stunts that I was talking about earlier, I just wanted to make it as easy as possible to do by putting myself through it. And I know, like, there are different ways of approaching scenes and different ways of shooting something, but I was really just in the moment up for putting myself through a lot of what Elliot goes through. And maybe that was a mistake. Maybe
Yeah, you won't be doing that again.
Say again?
I said you won't be doing that again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might have to talk to the writers and make sure Elliot doesn't find himself in that position. But for those of you who have seen the whole series, you know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who haven't, yeah, you've got a physical feat to come. So hopefully it'll be worth the effort. I don't want people to watch it and be like, so what? That's just a Saturday night for me. But we'll see.
Sure.
Here's a quick question. What was it like to did you find it easy to get into your character?
Yeah, I think I try and stay sort of close-ish to the character anyway. But it was like I was saying before, it's about the preparation. So, you know, making sure you kind of know where you are in the scenes, how you're speaking, and making sure you're doing the preparation. But yeah, for me, like I had a voice coach before, did some work with him, and then kind of, you know, did my own research on fathers and sons and
Right.
criminal families and things like that.
Link that to the questions that are up at the moment. They're like, what do you think you have most in common with your character?
Okay, that's cool. Well, hopefully not much. I've got a brother.
Yeah, right.
So, that's a good question. That is a good question, actually. That's what have I got most in common with Sean? Go on, you go first.
What do I have most in common with my? Yeah, there's one thing that's a bit too sad to talk about on Instagram Live. But
Yeah,
no one's
maybe.
died. No one's died. My family all good and well. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Elliot has to be able to read a situation and adapt really quickly. And I think part of being an actor is the ability to sort of to change who you are. And Elliot does that. Elliot is one thing to another person and one thing and a different thing to somebody else. And I think that ability to move and take up as much or as little space as you need to survive in a situation is something that we try and do as actors, like creating different personalities and stuff. So that's probably the thing I have closest to my character.
Sweet, bro.
In terms of getting into character, that thing that I have closest to the character made it difficult as well, because it would always change. Like, who is he today? Who is he to this person? So I always had to make sure that, like you said before, I was really prepared going into every scene. So I knew who I was talking to and what part of Elliot he was showing in that moment. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Let's take 2 more questions and then we'll have to say goodbye.
Sounds good.
A lot of these questions we have already answered.
How was the audition process? That's quite a good one.
Oh yeah, go on then. Let's do that. How was
for the audition process? What did I do? I was in America at the time, so I had to send some tapes.
All right, cool.
So yeah, got the scripts, and I think I got the first, maybe I don't know, I got the first episode or maybe the first one or two, and they wanted like three scenes
Hmm.
of three of Sean's scenes. I think they chose three scenes that they wanted us to do, and yeah, I filmed it out in New Orleans. I was working with one of my mates on the show, Doug, filmed it for me, and we spent a bit of time trying to figure out who this character was,
Hmm.
and then we filmed it, and then sent it to Kelly Hendry, and ended up getting the role. How about it's pretty much that
Nice.
simple? But how about
Nice.
you?
Nice. For me, it was kind of similar, like the way it works is that we've got agents and they find scripts for us, send it to us, like, what do you think? And we've both said that, like, we read the scripts and they were amazing. And I was just like, yo, this is dope. Like, can I try? Let me try for Elliot. Can I audition for him? And they were like, okay. We'll see what happens. Just throw your hat in the ring. And yeah, at first, like, I sent off the tape and then didn't hear anything for ages. Although, like, going in to meet Gareth and Matt and Valet and Kelly was excellent. Like, they're just really, really beautiful people. I saw that Pippa's signed on and said hello. Hi, Pippa. Really amazing people, really comfortable audition room. And that was a real blessing, because sometimes you walk in and you can be so intimidated by the person who's on the other side of the table. Like, I remember auditioning for Kenneth Branagh one time, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm auditioning for, like, Mr. Shakespeare of England that's alive. The only person who knows Shakespeare more than him is, like, Laurence Olivier. And I was just like, how am I going to do Shakespeare in front of this guy? And I totally flopped it. But thankfully, it was a lot easier sitting in for Gareth and Matt and Kelly. That was, it was a real blessing to be in front of them, actually. Okay, one question that I saw that I can't find now is, what's next for you, bro?
I was meant to start another job kind of in the next month or two, but obviously that's not happening now because of Corona. So it will happen, but it's just been postponed. Can't really say too much about it, but
all right, cool.
It's one of them.
NDAs,
but
NDAs, top secret.
It's a TV thing. It's really cool scripts, really cool character. Hopefully going to start shooting it end of the year, September.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's my plan. How about you?
I've got a couple of movies coming out towards the end of the year. One will be on Netflix, I think. The other one, I'm not sure. The Netflix one is called His House. It's a little horror film that I did.
Right.
And the other film's called Shipbreaker. It's a German film that I did a couple of years back. So hopefully we'll all be out of isolation and quarantine by then, and the governments, that powers that be, would have sorted the situation out. But yeah, hopefully that'll be whatever I do next towards the end of the year.
Wicked, man.
Bro, it's been amazing chatting to you. I'm
so
proud of this series and what we've done, and I love your work in it. I keep texting you and telling you.
Likewise, bro. You're killing it. You're killing it. Enjoy the rest, man. Love to the family and all that. I'll see you soon.
Thank you to everyone who has, like, watched Gang so far. Thank you for everyone who's joined us on this Instagram Live. Hope everyone's staying at home. Stay happy and healthy, and look after yourselves. Peace.
Yeah, guys. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the rest, man. Take care.
In a bit. Bye.